American blooming.
Hello and welcome to the Florida Model Live Show. What was that? You were deadly quiet all the way through and then suddenly, boom. Anyway, good evening. Welcome to the Florida Models Live Show. Here we are with you live on the 10th of March. Just like to say, it's my birthday this time next week, so I'm expecting cake, cards, expensive gifts.
You can't get
Some myrrh. Or I just have the usual of sod all. Anyway, trust you all doing very good at home. Let me just put the live chat on to make sure we got sound and all the rest of it. Good job. Oh, we're talking about petrol prices. Oh, it starts already. Look, it was over £2 a litre down here.
Leave politics out of it.
That's not politics, that's just like robbery.
No.
Anyway, we trust you're all doing very well and your week has been good so far. Been a busy week down in here, so we'll start off with that. John, what have you been doing this week? Right, Nathan?
Yeah, nothing.
Nothing, right?
To be honest, last night was the first time I came in the shed since last week's live show.
Oh, what have you been doing then?
Not a lot.
You've been talking to the wife. I've told you about that. That'll get you into trouble.
Yeah.
It'll cost you money.
Yeah, no, I just not felt like I was busy valeting cars over the weekend.
Oh, so your son's business has got his first employee.
Yeah. Unpaid employee.
Well, this is it, yes. Oh, if I'd known that, I'd have brought my car round.
So the photos your wife posted up of the cars being valeted, were they you or your son that did them?
Both of us.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if you'd seen the state of it, God.
Yeah.
Yeah. It had a ploughed field inside it.
That's why they took it to a valeter's.
Yeah.
Definitely. Oh, well, never mind. Good job. And Nathan, how was your week going?
Good. So I was in a similar situation to John that I just wasn't fancying doing anything for the past few weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So I started something new.
Ooh. Is that the Airfix one?
This is the Edard 48 Tempest 2.
Oh, sorry. I thought that was a Seafire. My mistake. They look the same.
They do look very similar. I'm getting many reminders of the Airfix kit, but the two builds I had, well, one I've not posted up. The other build is just killing the mojo, so I thought, screw it. Built something else. So, Indian Tempest is what it is going to be. But the Edard Tempest, lovely kit. Highly recommend it. Very nice.
Very nice. I must admit, I've got it down in here, but I've got the Mark other version of it with the mouth. It's got a weird Mark designation on those things, doesn't it?
Yeah, the Tempest 2.
Yes.
Yeah, and I can't work out the sequence. It's all a bit random, isn't it?
Yes, because I've got the Tempest 5 and it's the older version.
Yeah, there's logic in there somewhere. But I think this is a special hobby kit as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes.
So this is a sublime kit. It's amazing. Yeah, highly recommend getting one.
Very nice. Very, very good. Right, okay, and Matt, how's it going? How's the
All
new
right,
digs?
very well, thank you.
Nice.
Yeah.
That
You
it?
want to know what I've been doing?
Yes, please.
I've been painting.
Very good.
There you go, look. Been painting. Can you see that? Is that on the
Yeah.
camera?
Very
That's
good.
an Alpine resin figure,
Yeah.
which is perhaps he's come out all right. And then these two are Master Box. They're for the Pack 40 base that I showed last time we did a show.
Yeah.
So that's got a resin head. That's just standard kit head. So
Very nice indeed.
playing with that, I have painted some else, but he literally jumped off my shelf and gone under, so I can't find him.
He's gone missing.
Literally made a run for it before we came on here. So he's under there somewhere. I'll find him later. But yeah, that's what I've been doing, and obviously work stuff, usual bits and bobs. So yeah, productive actually.
Yes. And the guys are saying in chat that you've got a very nice, your board behind you.
IKEA.
Yeah, it's very nicely spaced out and done. Give it 6 months, you won't be able to see it. It'll just be a jungle up there.
Yeah. It's I need some of the bigger hooks actually. You know,
Right. So the question is, what's the funnel for?
Decanting thinners into.
Oh, right, okay. Just checking.
Into dropper bottles and stuff.
Or if he gets short before he goes to the toilet. And then
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It's more a case so he doesn't spill.
Well, it's got to have a funnel.
into the coat.
I don't have a funnel. I feel left out. I'll have to buy a funnel at Trago on Saturday.
Yeah, look. Hey, hold on. Look, I've even put the little paint rack up. Look.
Oh, look, paint racks up as well.
And have you seen? Oh, you got to see this. This is proper Eve Robinson. Can you see my my extractor down the bottom?
Yeah, so it goes into a tub.
It goes into a tub with a bit of filter in it. And surprisingly, it actually works.
Oh, right,
somehow.
okay, fair enough.
I think I need a bigger box. Obviously, you've got to make holes in the tub for obviously to, which I didn't think about when I did it. So I'm thinking, the air pressure that's sucking through there has got to go somewhere. Go into the box, and the box will just.
I was going to say the box explodes.
Yeah. So a bit more planning, and I've put some holes in the top and then a bit of filter over it. And actually, it's working. Yeah. But obviously, I do have a window just there, so I can actually pipe it out into just to go all over Leslie's car that's parked just at the front. So, but yeah, we're getting there. In here, I need to put shelving up and pictures and still bits and bobs. I think as well this side that you can't see, I'm going to put some cupboards up, like kitchen units, because there's quite a space. I'll show you if you can see that. Look, there's quite a space where the RCJ thing is, what do you call it?
Maybe a posh radiator.
Yeah, so I'm going to put some cupboards under that because it'd be quite thing. So yeah, we're getting there, slowly but surely.
Excuse me, we've got a wildcat going over the top, as in the helicopter, not next doors. 2 of them, sounds like. Very nice. So they're on exercises over here at the moment, but lots of helis. Andy, how are you doing?
Yes, lovely. Thank you very much.
How's the modelling going?
Yeah, I've finally got some more decals on last night. So we were all on last night, weren't we, in our rooms? My weekend build from about 2 months ago.
Yes.
Is well, the decal's nearly done. Just then weather it and finish it off onto the next project, which started 2 months before that.
Right. Is that your tank? your little mahogany tank?
Yeah. Might get to finish something off soon.
Everybody's definitely on a slow build. Right, okay, so I've been busy. So what do you want to see first, a Hornet or do you want to see a Hurricane?
I'd do the Hornet and then the Hurricane.
Do the Hornet. Right, so the Hornet is looking like this. If I get an overhead on, it's coming along. So it is in primer at last. We're finally there. We finally turned the old corner with it. It's coming along, looking very much the part and all the rest of it. So we were in there. The next part of this will be up on Monday. I've done a little video about using high density foam as masks. This is a classic example of hopefully it will work. But also, like I said, if I get enough interest, I'll show you how to make FOD covers with plasti dip with it, because it's really, really good stuff. And so that's about that one. So that's all in primer. So plan of action for tomorrow is to actually get some paint on this. So we'll get the paint on this one, and then obviously it's only 2 colours, so it's going to be quite straightforward. We'll do the black work, and then we can really push on with it and moving on with that one. So that's the Hornet, is coming along very nicely. And then the other wonder is the Hurricane is here and deckled. See, the trouble with these bigger kits, I can't fit them in the camera. So we've got the Hurricane in, decals are on. So decals are on, they're still bedding down. As I say, we use Tech Mod, which I didn't have a problem with. It went down really nicely, apart from they do take a while to come off the old film. But you can see they are still bedding down, but they're going down quite nicely. They're getting in there now, so that's all right. Sorry?
Sorry, I know what I meant to ask you. Have you actually read the stencil data?
On it, these ones on here. Oh, I need my glasses. So the oil one's all right.
I think so, but I think some are really dodgy. I think spelling. I can't remember. I don't know if it's that or a different
just got it's like the part numbers for the WT ones on there, isn't it? I think the water one's all right. It says coolant, 70% water, and then 30%.
Glycol water.
Yeah. So.
All right. Oh, it might be right then on that one.
Yeah, I think it is all right on this one. What's this one? This is what's that? 9.6 gallons or something for coolant. But yeah.
Oh right, cool.
No, not too bad. But yes, it's very much coming apart. I did make a bit of a hash putting the gun barrels on, because you know what happens as always. The first 2, which I did off camera, piece of cake. It was 2-second job, just straight in there with the drill, done. Put these metal bits in as well, which is the first part for the replacement master barrel guns in there. Piece of cake. So I'm like, right, I'll show you guys now. So I set the camera up and we go, and I'm because I'm sort of being a little bit more careful, this time it melts the plastic. But anyway, it's in there now, and a little bit of filler later, it's taken care of that. But they're in. But it's all done. It's all here. We got the gear and everything else, and it's quite nice because, as I say, I've done a bit of a homage. Grab them, but we've done the Polish one as well. So this has got the Polish markings for this particular one right the way through. So tomorrow will be the big one for this, which we'll talk about really doing all the paintwork and all the camo and everything on with that one. And then obviously, I think it's probably going to be next week. I don't know. You'll probably get the decals in this one as well. I haven't done the edit for it yet. So you might get the decals. I might stretch it to be like a 45-minute video on this one tomorrow. So, but anyway, I've done the first bit of editing, but the back end. So yeah, I'll probably do it so you're going to get the decaling into it. So we cover the decals and the bits and pieces. And on Monday, you'll get the Hornet, which will probably be about to where it is now. So yes, been busy a couple of days, really, scooting around getting all these done.
Can I just say, obviously we showed that we had a few of them in stock yesterday, and they've obviously sold out pretty quick. If any of our lot on the forum wants any, we've still got an opportunity to get some at the same price. So if you want to shoot Andy a message, if you are interested, we'll get them in.
Nice. Because again, we discussed it, I know, on Wednesday's show, but for 60 quid, that is a lot of plastic for your money. You know, and it's a really nice kit. I do like it. It's gone together with no real problems whatsoever. I say we've only had one little thing with the wing joint, which is a really easy fix. And the rest of it is, say, liven it up, some harnesses, you know, say gun barrels look really nice on this one, and all the rest of it, and it really comes to life. Probably worth getting a replacement set of decals for it.
Definitely.
Because if they were like mine, they were mouldy. So I think at that point you're probably thinking, yeah, could do with some better ones. But no, it's taken very, very well. I'll just show you this bit, 'cause I'm quite impressed how these are bedding in. So here's these ones here. Let you see how well they take them.
Yeah.
Done all right on there. That's wrapped nicely around that. I didn't think it was going to go around that at one point, but to say what it's like, and to say it's a quick tip for you, leave it. Literally, this is a classic, because I've been off and had dinner and come back, and it's actually really still bedding down. Even though it's totally dry, it's still going to carry on bedding down and all the rest of it. So we don't think, and keep chucking stuff over it, because all you're going to do is melt it. But yeah, that's taken really, really well. The other one's got a bit to go. It's a bit spiky and all the rest of it, but it's going to get there. It will go.
As Matt says, if anyone's one, let me know. It takes us a couple of weeks to get them in. So it's not like a literally a next day thing.
Yes.
But let us know and we'll get them ordered.
What decal solutions were you using on it?
To be honest, straightforward micro sole, the red one, does the trick no problem at all. But what I did do, I stuck a little bit of a Gema, the bloody ones, over it as well. But honestly, I don't think it actually needs it. That was just me thinking, right, well, we'll just chuck something a bit harsher. I think, you know, a good 3 or 4 coats over the space of 24 hours with some microsol will do the trick quite perfectly, because they were pretty good. So the only thing I had, you had to wait literally 10 to 15 minutes to get it to release from the the backing paper, because they just sit there and it's like nothing's happening. Then all of a sudden they give and you're okay. But I know some of you have mentioned to me you've had problems with the old, this is the decals, with the Tech Mod decals, and they've cracked on you and stuff. I think that may be a little bit of like, you know, you give it a poke to see if it's off the decal and it's not, or not all the way, and you end up cracking them and stuff like that. But I had no problem with these at all. And to be honest, I've used them before. I used them on the Mustang and they were lovely. So yeah, good stuff indeed.
We're in chat, one guy, Graham's asking Russell, did his gun barrels arrive? And Russell said, not yet. Post here has been slow. Not as slow as one of Phil's has been, has it?
Yeah, I just showed, that was, who was it? Which member? I literally, just as we were coming on air, I got your thing through. I've lost the thing for it now, wherever it was. I've lost the thing. But one of you said that you've literally just had an order which was placed on the 25th of November and it's turned up today. So crazy, absolutely crazy. So yes, so if you are waiting for a delivery, give it some time. So what's that, 4 months?
Give it 12 months and then inquire of where it is.
Yes, that's it. Yeah, instead of doing that thing after reporting missing after 28 days, it's going to be reporting missing after 28 months. So or 28 weeks in that case. So yes, definitely.
It's a long time, isn't it? So are we going to carry on this discussion from yesterday then, that me and you was on about earlier, about rivets? Because we've had obviously some feedback from yesterday, and
yes.
John Nathan weren't on to obviously discuss it with us. So the rivet conundrum. We were on about recess, not raised. Because I know somebody, put about the shackle turn and all that, but we were actually on about when recess rivets, not raised, was in vogue, came into fashion. So John came up with a good point, didn't you, yesterday?
Did I?
Oh God!
Waking up someone.
Okay.
Stuka, wasn't it?
What, the Airfix Stuka?
Yes.
Yeah, the Airfix 24th Stuka, that's got recessed rivet detail, and that was 1975.
Because the 109 definitely hasn't, has it? And the Spitfires haven't either, have
Spitfires
they?
definitely haven't. 109.
And it'd be worrying if the Hurricane had it,
Yes.
really. So,
But I wouldn't know, as for a manufacturer that like started doing it consistently with their kits, I wouldn't know that.
And
I reckon
also we were sort of talking really...
80s.
Yeah, we were talking really about the 48 scale stuff, wasn't it? When it sort of made it to there, because obviously in the larger scales it's a bit easier to do it. But as you say, when you get down to the sort of 48 scale mainstream, so...
what's your opinion, Nate?
What? When did it start?
We were saying, I think Christopher put up, didn't he, on the thing about the Accurate Miniatures B25.
Yeah.
I really can't remember if any of the US Navy dive bombers are riveted, because I'm like the Dauntless and the Helldiver and the Avenger and stuff. I ain't got any to even look at, so I wouldn't know.
I think companies started doing token riveting, like bits of it. But I think that like I think the most consistent firm for doing riveting is Eddard.
Nowadays, yeah, but we're talking high.
We're talking.
What we were saying is that obviously recess details started properly in the 70s because Matchbox used to do them. But when was the crossover point? Because also we were saying like Hasegawa, they did the F4B, but when they released the J, it was fully recessed, but the B's not. It's raised. That was their cut-off point where everything after it had recessed details. But then also make it a little bit more interesting, riveting, because obviously doing panel lines, well, as you say, the early ones were like trenches and everywhere. But riveting, when did that start? Because that would have been quite a technical job to do back in the day.
If I had as a guess, I would have said Accurate Miniatures, because when they come out, they were just like light years ahead of anything else, weren't they?
Yeah.
Can I just answer Dave Chandler's question? His question: are recessed rivets harder to mould than raised ones? If so, why? The problem is raised ones is essentially a hole in the mould.
Yes.
So you can drill a hole in the mould. You've got a raised panel line, a raised rivet. To get a recessed rivet, it's got to be the opposite way, and it's got to be a pimple.
Yeah.
Think of male and female, like Andy's pointing out there.
Yeah, it's doing very nice finger pointing.
So basically,
to get it out the mould.
To get a recessed rivet on a piece of plastic, you've got to cut all the plastic around it. So you just got the.
So going back in time then to actually making moulds. Sure, is it? You would have think then it'd be easier to do a raised mould than a recessed, because obviously, like you've said, you're doing like a female to make a male, yeah.
Yeah.
And then obviously it's the other way around for recessed, yeah.
Yeah.
So what? Nathan's disappeared. He's gone to the deepest, darkest stash, obviously, to pull something out. So obviously, I presume. I don't know this, but it would have been the Japanese companies that started recessed, like Hasegawa and Fujimi and companies like that back in the day.
Yeah.
So what made them do that from raised? What was the switch?
Initially, to make the moulds, they were machined, weren't they, using tooling to actually make the moulds, as physically actually make them. Nowadays, they're all made by spark erosion. So basically, it's like a spark that erodes the tool to create the actual mould, so you can get the quality and the finesse of it a lot better. You can slightly do it so it does it.
But you know what I'm saying? Like back in the 80s or 70s when it started to come in for recess from raised, you know, when the switch thingy, then obviously the tooling wasn't and the thingy wasn't what it is now, is it? So what I'm saying is like under what made them switch from raised to
drove
recess.
them to do it? Yeah.
Yeah.
And Russell said Tammy used water cutters for moulds.
See, the Japanese had this thing where you could tell a kit was made by a Japanese modeler back in the day because it used to have really black panel lines, didn't it?
Yeah.
It used to, like really dark ink panel lines. This Dragon kit does not have rivets.
I did think of Dragon as well. You know, like that 109 we've been selling.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's riveted.
It's not, no.
It's not, is it? That's just panel lines. Nice panel lines in scale and stuff, and really nice detail.
There's
There's
no
no
rivets
rivets,
on
is there? Because again, obviously, like back in the 90s, I'd say early 90s, like Dragon was quite ahead of, with moulds and stuff. They were quite ahead of everybody else with the tooling.
Yeah.
But obviously, they were more armour than aircraft, weren't they? So. Doing figures and stuff. So yeah, I don't know. It's interesting.
I don't mean mine. So Tamiya did not. Dragon.
David Chandler says this whole female male reference is confusing me, which might explain one of his first comments he made of the evening, saying that the music was better than sex.
That's his nipple coffee.
Yeah, that's it.
But
I think there was a crossover where companies would do some token riveting, just little bits here and there. And then another decade later, companies went full tilt.
Yeah, I think it is one of those things that just like sort of snuck into the hobby.
Yeah.
It wasn't like bang all of a sudden, you know.
Yeah.
I'm thinking Trumpeter then must have been the initial. We did it on all the, you know, on a lot more. Like we did say yesterday, yes, it was a bit over. Well, not a bit, but it was quite over scale.
Yeah.
But obviously, things have refined over with technology and tooling and everything else that we've said yesterday. So,
And like Graham says, like computer milling is cuts out the moulds, not humans. You know, CAD computers and everything nowadays. From what they were 1970s, 80s, 90s.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It's not a Neanderthal with a hammer and a.
But yeah, just to say this, obviously, because the guy's talking about it there, we're not on about raised rivets because they've been around for ages, and that's how this conversation actually started. And we were saying like Hella for raised detail was one of the finest ones out there, and they do beautiful in scale, you know, raised riveting detail, and all their surface detail was very fine. But to try and do that as in recessed must have been an absolute nightmare when they switched to it, even though, like we were saying, originally, of course they are raised, you know, it's domed rivets and all the rest of it. So it's that thing, isn't it, where why would you switch when technically was it? So
that didn't last long, did it?
No, see you in a bit. Mute yourself. Somebody mute him.
Oh, do you need the loo again? Jesus.
I've just lost my train of thought now.
It does every time.
Accurate miniatures seems to be the consensus in chat.
I think really, as you say, it's very difficult because there is obviously with everything, there's going to be a few sort of, you know, one-off kits that made it out probably before the full switch over happened. But I was trying to, we were trying to rack our brains about it sort of as a recorded show that we put out yesterday. And say I've had lots of feedback, but a lot of people have talked about it, you know, about raised rivets. That's not really what we was on about. We're on about sort of the recess when it became, you know, mainstream, if you like. And I think from my recollection of doing it, it seemed to be this thing that, you know, in the 90s it started to become the normal going through, you know, about that time. But like the original conversation, people haven't seen it, as we were saying, it's a bit like it was the minefield then, wasn't it, in the 90s, because you buy a kit, but you'd have to do a bit of research, and in those days it was before the internet, so you were governed a lot by magazines, and it would be one of the things, it would be manufacturer, scale, you know, what it is, manufacturer, scale, and then it would say detail, raised or recessed, you know, because that was it. But now, obviously, you wouldn't have that, because they're all going to be recessed and all the rest of it, or both, you know, but it was that thing about, the minefield of buying a kit, especially aircraft, in the 90s, if you open it out and see what you get, unless you've got a model shop who doesn't mind you having a rummage through all the bags, you know, opening them up. But as I say, it was one of those ones, you get it back, you're like, oh damn, being caught. It's, you know, they haven't done it yet, but
I think the worst ones is when you get one where it's half recessed and half raised. I mean, Tamiya's done it.
Tamiya, the F14, yeah, the
Yeah,
Bobcat.
the F14, but a few other companies have done that as well. I can't think off the top of my head, but they have. It's like half of it's sort of recessed and half of it's raised, and it's like, okay.
Well, Tamiya redid the front end of the Tomcat, so that's recessed, but the back end's the original and it's all raised. And we were one of the ones we were talking about, wasn't it? Was the Harrier, the FA2 Harrier from Airfix. The fuselage, because it's a new fuselage,
that was it.
Was recessed, but the wings and that was off the original kit of the FRS1, and it was all raised. So it was like, thanks.
Bet they didn't even fit.
No,
Have you ever built
not
one,
really.
mate?
No, it took a bit of work to get that kit together, but yeah, it was. That was the thing.
Airfix Seafire's like that.
Mm.
Seafire's got different generations of sprues in the same box. It's just cost, isn't it? It would cost them more money to tool new wings.
Yeah.
Didn't. It's rubbish. Well, that was when they were just cutting costs. That's the accountants making that decision, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it must have been, as you say. The tooling cost must be a lot more. Is that better, Andy?
Andy's got a stash in his toilet, obviously.
Yeah, well, that's where it's next to
Is
his,
it spread
his
now
bath.
in the bathroom?
Everywhere. And when was this built? TBF?
It's got to be 90s, mid-90s. That's a kit and a half, that is. That is just amazing.
It is a really good kit, that one.
You need to tackle an accurate miniatures
I do,
kit.
yeah, no,
Billy.
I totally
You
agree.
really do.
Yeah.
Perhaps next year. Can't
Yeah.
hear him. He's muted.
You still
Why you
muted.
muted yourself?
Unmute yourself. That's it.
So the riveting detail on this is absolutely beautiful.
It's fully riveted, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's got to be accurate miniatures any sort of trend, hasn't it?
Yeah, really, really nice as well.
Watch, he'll be building it in a minute. He'll be out of the bags and...
Yeah, off he goes.
Which version is it?
This is the TBF 1C.
Is it Pacific one or Atlantic? Well, let me look at the front. No, it's the Pacific one, isn't it? The Atlantic ones are white and grey.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's got the three-tone.
Interesting.
You've muted yourself
concept.
again. What are you doing?
Yeah, you muted yourself again.
Are you putting it on your mouse or something? Yes, you're still muted. It's got a line through you.
Matt, leave it alone.
I ain't touched so much with it.
Yeah, who's playing with the mute system?
Look, it's him. It's Buller. You can tell by that
Buller.
smile on his face.
His lips are moving. It must be him.
Do with me. He's there like fiddling with the mouse.
Bless. But yes, so there we go. That's an interesting one, isn't it? As I say, yeah, we George is talking about the F4J and the B and the C and the D.
So the next follow on from the question is: do you like them riveted? Would you prefer to do it yourself, or do you like them without? There you go.
Oh, it's got to be with, surely.
I think really you got that thing like that CL215 is raised details. And it's a bit like, we've spoken about it a lot, is that CH53, the monogram Revel one. That has raised rivets all over it as well. But it needs to, because that's what they have. And again, technically, like the Shackleton kit, I know obviously you wouldn't want to go near the Frog one for all the tea in China, but, the Shackleton family as well, although obviously the modern releases from Revell and Airfix all have them as recessed now, they were well known for having... as you say, the raised rivets onto those kits. So in some ways it would be nice, but like we said, from a model builder's point of view, they're a nightmare because you lose them all unless you're going to go down the old Archer route to replace them. So that's your trouble, isn't it? Is how do you replace the detail you lose when it's raised? Especially if it's complex type shapes as well that they're doing it with.
Yeah. Thing is, it can go the other way as well. Edward are fantastic at rivet detail and panel lining and everything, but especially on their 72nd scale kits, it can be so fine that as soon as you start doing sanding work on seams and that, it's going, and then it's really difficult to get it back to the same standard as the rest of the kit.
Yeah,
because it's so fine.
Is your Tempest riveted?
This Tempest here, the rivets are so fine I'm worried I'm going to lose them under the paint.
You see now that where is the limit then? Because like you say, the armor hobby stuff is amazing, but like you're getting into 70-second scale rivets. They're that small and fine, like you've just been saying. Is it actually worth doing? Because of you've got to put paint on it, haven't you?
Yeah.
You know, it's fantastic if you're just going to leave it in base styrene and display it, but obviously that's not what many people do. So is it worth all the effort to put the rivets in if they're going to be obliterated? Because you really are going to be in tinted thinners to get that thin, not to cover your detail up. But obviously, you know.
Yeah.
Again, that was one of the things that came up when I did that IBG Fokker Wolf, because that's got beautiful recessed details, and that gives obviously the Armour Hobbies things a run for their money. But that was the big thing in the review. By the time you've got, and if you're an acrylic, that's the one. By the time especially if you're an acrylic painter, let's face it, your paint's going to be a little bit thicker than a lacquer painter. So get a coat of primer in there, cut the coats for paint just to do it. I don't think you'll see them. I honestly think that'll be it. Let alone if you've got to do any sanding or anything like rubbing back on it. So say you get a bit of texture, you give it a bit of a sand back, and then next coat of paint on, you're going to be like, oh, it's gone. That's the trouble. I think there is a limit to how far you can go with it, because as I said before, we've all joked about it, like the riveting on this, theoretically I think they'd be sort of finger sized to put your finger in scale, but it looks right. It doesn't look like it's overdone because the kits are big, it's 24 scale, it gets away with it. But obviously if you was to shrink this down, you are into the realms of you'd never see it with all panel lining.
Do you think they're doing it to sell us the dream?
Again, we've also said it's that pantomime effect, isn't it? You need to see it, So in some ways, you exaggerate the details, like we do with weathering and all the rest of it. You exaggerate it to see it.
It's same philosophy of me painting a 1/35 head on a figure. You've got to exaggerate the shadows and the highlights and everything to pull because it's so small, to exaggerate the features. So it is that case scenario, but. Do you think now, because of our technologies and they can do it, do you think it's doing it for the sake of doing it, or do you think it's worth them doing it? That's the question. It's nice, isn't it? When you open a box, you do a review, you're just like, obviously, like when you've just done that 190 last week or whatever, you were just like taken aback.
Yeah.
But then if you think of the practicality of when it's built and painted, and how much of that you might potentially could lose,
And it is, and that is my worry. Like I said in the review, it would be that thing about you would have to make a conscious thing with your paintwork to thin it a little bit more, put down a couple of light coats, because I really think it won't take a wash after it's gone on there.
Jamie in chat says, fine rivets, MRP is your friend. But that means like you're probably going to forego the base coat, aren't you? To go straight on with paint, otherwise you're going to be taking...
So I've got to paint
away the detail, aren't you?
I've got to do silver without putting a primer on it.
Yeah.
See, I always use thin paint anyway, so the painting side of it's not the issue with me. Like I say, it's if during the building process and you've got to do sanding work, and you lose it, it's just you
put it back in, don't you?
It's putting it back in.
Yeah,
putting it back in to anywhere near the standard the rest of the kit's in. Because some of it, the Edward Spitfires, they look fantastic, but you try rescribing some of that detail.
Right, there it is. That's that 190. And if you look at the riveting detail on this, I think it's just about doable that you're not going to go. It's a little bit more heavier than the Armour Hobbies one we did, the Mustang. So this panel down in here, this is obviously the 190, but it's there. But if I just go and grab the picture from, I can't even get a photo of it. That's how fine a detail it is on this thing. Come on. And where is it? Yeah, you can't even see it. It is so fine. But this panel's obviously is one of the few, because most of these are puttied over here, but this one does have it, and you can just about make them out down in there. They are that fine to get it. So these panels have rivets, the rest of them don't. So, but these do, and it is. I think it would be a case of you be very, very careful with it. Putting down your paint and all the rest of it. Like Jamie says, MRPs are fine because they're very, very thin. But if you're an acrylic painter, you're going to have to put down a couple of very light coats, I think, underneath there to get away with it.
Or like others have said, hand brushing.
Yeah, hand brushing, classic example. If you're a hand painter, again, you know, it's got to be that thing of, you know, being careful, thin coats, you know. So
Very
I think it realistically, and I know we spoke to Pramjit about it, didn't we? About the limits of, you know, what you can do from an engineering point of view and what you can do from a modelling point of view. And again, I think it's just one of those ones where it's like, you know, there's a limit to how realistic you can make it. Like we said before, isn't it? And it's about cockpits and details of scale. You've got to have a certain thickness of plastic, because in reality, it's only, I can't remember where they are now. Was it 0.6 of a mil? Aircraft aluminium sheeting.
Yeah, but I've got an argument with that. Look at the Tamiya Spitfire, the cowlings.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
they only
the
ever did the
cowlings,
cowlings.
yeah.
They didn't do anywhere else. And to be honest, we haven't seen that since. Because they are supposed to be in scale to 1/6 of a mil, aren't they? Because I remember making
But
a big
then that's
thing of it.
30-second scale, isn't it?
And it's
Which is
30
pretty
seconds.
easy to do.
Yeah. But yeah, that's the thing. But if you built an entire model out of that, you wouldn't be able to pick it up. You'd break it.
Well, I want like then 1/35 armour in proper scale thickness armour.
What, thicker? That'd probably be thicker.
The one that Phil did, the King Tiger, wasn't that in
I think it was actually.
Scale.
Yeah, the King
This one?
Tiger is scale thickness for the walls. For the yeah, it is actually. For that Tacken one. Yeah.
Oh, right, okay.
It is actually, because the frontal plate is thicker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
So that's getting down to something though, isn't it? If you're actually doing scale thickness of.
Armour, yeah.
So you pick up your plane and, oh bugger, I put my finger through it. It'd be like pick up here points, like the real thing.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's true, picking up a hurricane, wouldn't you?
Yes.
Yeah, you imagine if you were doing World War One stuff.
Yeah.
Paper thin.
Ooh, proper fabric.
Yeah, real fabric. Don't
Real
linen,
linen.
really.
Hey,
You know, the iron.
Tissue
get your
paper.
Irish linen out. Mad, wouldn't it? Go, can you imagine? Proper skinning a frame.
But yeah, no, I thought it's quite an interesting topic when you get into it, because I say you were into that thing now about the limits of what you can do from a modelling point of view as well. You know? So I think, you know, have we reached that area now, especially with resin? Because let's face it, I've done things in the past, and you often get the cowlings and that are thinner, because you can look through them almost. They're that thin from, you know, Edard and people like that. So they're all done to it. So are we just to the point now in saying that, yes, you could engineer a kit to have accurate 1-to-1 scale panel lines and 1-to-1 scale riveting details and all the rest of it, but if it was, you wouldn't see it. Or certainly not after you've primed it and painted it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's an interesting topic, isn't it? So a lot of what's chat saying, anybody, or they just nodded off.
No, it took that doing riveting and
Doing it yourself. James.
James.
I can't do it. The little rivet wheels, I'm like, oof.
Oh, I must admit, I do enjoy riveting. Is I've re-riveted a lot on this, because obviously leading edge of the wings and the bits and pieces, and yeah, I must admit I do enjoy it. It's actually quite therapeutic, because this thing actually works out to 1 mil rivet. They fit perfectly to the ones that are on here, so I don't think that's to scale. I think that's what Trumpeter did, 1 mil rivets.
I enjoy it when it goes right. It's when you go offline and you think, oh god.
I think John were best when you were doing it individually.
Oh yeah.
Do it. I can't do it. I've got my rivet wheels here. They're in pristine condition.
Yeah, mine are the same, Nave. Absolutely pristine.
Oh, God. It's just the thought of it just going woo like this.
You don't get many recessed rivets on tanks.
No.
Thankfully.
For those that do, yeah, it does make a difference. I remember Jamie did some builds of some Tamiya Corsairs, because the Tamiya 72 Corsair doesn't have rivets. So he riveted it. It does make a difference.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does. It does enhance. Yeah.
I think it was Corsairs. I seem to remember in a magazine build years ago.
But again, it's one of those, like the Bear, obviously completely re-riveted that. And I can see the rivets just about from here. And it really makes the kit pop. It gives it that detail, and that's what we're saying, isn't it? It's that, you know, technically it's pantomime. Because I'm sat here, 3 feet from it, hanging on the wall, I can still see it.
Phil, you can't see that plane in front of you. Never mind what's hanging on your
Well,
wall.
to be honest, there's nothing wrong with my eyesight there. It's here's the problem. Can't see it. It's a blurry mess here, but far away, I'm no problem. But that's when they did my eye test. I like seriously, when I was in the hospital, they did an eye test with me, and she goes, right, okay, can you read the thing? So I did it right the way to the smallest, yeah. And I said,
Yeah.
she said, oh, there's nothing wrong with your eyesight. I said, from here, if I go and stand up to it, I couldn't tell you what the first one was. I'm fine over here, but yeah, Jesus, no doubt getting close up. But no, but you know what I mean? It's that thing, it's that pantomime effect.
Yeah,
Chances are the riveting's probably overdone on that bear, but from 3 feet away, it looks spot on. And it breaks up the sort of, you know, tubular structure of it and all the bits and pieces, gives it a really good sense of depth. And I think that's really what, or certainly from I try and achieve as a modeller, is to be sort of pleasing from the eye rather than the scale.
So that's the thing to chuck to chat then. Is that like you've just said? So are they more thinking within scale or so you can see it?
There you go. Think for chat. There's your question. Vote now. Countdown music.
Some music on.
Should we have a look at questions?
Hold on, we're waiting for the feedback on this. So
Well,
the question is, you vote, either you do it for the sort of pantomime effect, as in you want to see it all, or you want it as real. That's the question. David says we're making models, not replicas. Hey, speak for yourself.
Yeah, we now rivet counters.
Yeah, that's it. So that's the thing. So if you were doing a 70-second scale plane, you wouldn't see the riveting, surely.
No.
No.
It would look drab and toy-like, I think.
Neil says we're trying to get rosy riveters in the UK. Any ideas? There's nowhere at the moment that does rosy riveters in the UK, but who knows?
Exactly.
What the future may bring.
There's a thing. Rosy riveters are some other company's wheels, aren't they?
I wouldn't start that, Nathan. Don't bring that up. That's not a good topic.
Well,
'Cause it's not
rosy
true.
riveters are no more, are they?
Yeah,
That's not true either. Just saying.
Yeah.
I can't say any more, but none of that's true. Just saying.
I've some wheels that go in.
Yeah. Next. Keep moving on.
It's a serious question. If you can't get rosy riveters, what are you going to buy?
You could buy one of them really nice trumpy ones.
What, with the wobbling wheel? Jesus. It's like trying to ride a penny farthing.
It's like me when I was in my 20s walking home from the pub on a Saturday night.
This is it. Peeing in his wardrobe. Right, anyway, a lot of people are saying they don't care as long as it looks good. And there's a lot of you saying about you want it to be in scale. So, a lot of you saying you want to see it. And, again, you've got that thing about being realistic rather than toy-like. But again, if you can't see the riveting, it will look like a toy. So, isn't it? It's that thing, isn't it? It makes it very difficult.
It's a fine balance, isn't it?
It is a very fine balance. If I'm honest, I don't think there is a right and wrong answer to this. It's just seeing what people think. But, because again, like we've often said, or I say, it's your model, you do what you like with it. At the end of the day, if you want it to be realistic, then, that's what you would do. If you wanted to make it look more, sort of something you can see and it pops and all the rest of it, you can do it that way.
I think, when you are getting to either the bigger kits or the bigger scales, so, like, say, you take the Hasegawa P47, Edard Reebok, Dottie May, yeah? No rivets on that.
No.
But that's a big lump.
It is huge, yeah.
With just recessed panel lines. Don't get wrong, they're nicely in scale, it looks nice, but it looks very plain. So if you were to rivet that, now, I'm not comparing the kit, so before anybody jumps on me, but obviously, and I've never seen it, but Trumpeter did a P47 in 32nd, didn't they?
Yes.
Which is a bit of a dog of a kit. But was it riveted, Because I've never seen that kit at all, I don't think. We've had the Razorback in a few times, but I don't think I've ever looked at one.
Yeah, we were saying about the Razorback the other day, weren't we? I haven't seen one, so I can't comment. I don't know if it has or hasn't. I would have thought because of its age it might do, because it's of this ilk. They all sort of came out at the same time, didn't they? And if I remember rightly, those Hasegawa kits, they were all early 90s, weren't they? They're 30-second scales that they did.
Yeah, the P40s
Yeah,
and whatever,
that's it,
you know,
all of those.
but they are good, you know, the 109s and the 190s, but they're all good, solid base kits, aren't they? Which
Yes.
you can, you know, there's loads of aftermarket for all of them and stuff to chuck at it, but none of them are riveted, and obviously that scale, 30-second, really does take more detail, doesn't it, to bring it to life, I suppose. Why are you smirking, John?
And
Jeremy says the P47 is.
what about P51 wings?
What about them?
Well, that's what I just said. The lower half is got rivets on it.
Bottom,
Top half
yeah.
doesn't. So, but yeah, Jamie says the P47N is riveted.
Badly though, is it? Because I've never seen. Is it over riveted or is it actually passable? That's what I was trying to get at. If it is riveted, because obviously the early Trumpy riveting was a bit overkill, really.
But again, the early stuff was always a little bit over with
Yeah.
everything that was going on with it. But yeah, I think, you know, at the end of the day, it's your personal choice, isn't it? If you do enjoy doing it, if you want to put them in, if your kit doesn't have it, you can do it. You know, as you say, you can either be like Jamie does and do it punch, the old NDC domed ones, because that's the one, if I'm right, Jamie, does the domed top, because I've got a set of them as well.
Great way of doing it, that.
Yeah. John
Is that
did
what
that.
you've been doing for your Stuka?
Yeah.
Have
Yeah.
you been sarcastic?
Yeah.
He's been gluing individual ones on. He's got a bag of them. So yeah, but no, interesting. Right, should we move over to questions?
Okay.
Oh, there's an echo round here. Is that me? Graham says, "Hi guys. You used to have a video about making replacement canopies. Can you tell me where I might find it? Wasn't me. Not me. I've never done a video on making a replacement canopy because I've never done that. I buy replacement canopies, and I did a video, and it is in the tutorials area from fixing back form ones, putting them on your kit. 'Cause I put it on the old Buster Mosquito, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you did.
You did a very quick video of doing plunge molding, didn't you? But that was a long time ago during a live show.
That was
so.
a live show many years ago, but that was just for doing like domed lights and various things, because John Tigger Wilkes, who lives down the road from me, he's got a vac form company that makes model kits, and that's what he does, and he's made it for Matt, haven't you? Your clear replacement
Yes, he's
ones
done
and
my,
stuff.
done my special hobby.
So, but that's
done videos
using,
and stuff.
you know, actually, you know, used Matt's originals as a mould, and then did one
Yeah.
from that and all the rest of it. So, yeah, it's a little bit more intense from
Just-
doing proper form.
Just while we're on
canopies.
about Tigger's thing, it's ID, isn't it? Is that what it what's his called now? His company.
I can't remember, to be honest.
Tigger models, isn't it?
I
Is it
thought
Tigger
was Tigger
Models, is it?
Yeah,
Oh, right, because it's like 30-second stuff, isn't it? It's quite
it's all big stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
There is someone on Facebook that's been doing a Sunderland. It's Sunderland, 30-second Sunderland, and that's impressive.
Yeah, but he's been
That's
doing
on
that since 10 years now, isn't it?
No, this is.
Oh, is that another one? There's one
This
that
is-
I
it's
know.
on
I
large
know the
scale
guy who's
planes
doing it.
as
It's been
well.
doing it for like 10 years. Done the full interior for it and everything. It's like,
This one, he's just been painted and he's done the markings and stuff. I'll tell you what, he's massive.
yeah.
It is massive. I don't know. We put some. It's good though. It looks really nice. Good job. So, yeah.
But yeah, definitely doing vac form canopies stuff is well beyond my pay grade. So you probably need a bit of a specialist. Somebody's got all the gear for that. Clive says, "Good evening, one and all. It may be a tad early, but is anyone going to the Cosford Air Show 11th or 12th of June or RIAT 16th, 17th of July? We're taking an AW189 from St Athan and also taking an S92. Are they the search and rescue ones? Because
Yeah.
that's the baby bird, as we call it, and the big bird down in these parts. Well, we won't go there, but there was an accident involving one of them. I don't know if you heard it on the news as well. Where
Blooming old lady.
it was my partner's work. It was taken off from her helipad, and it blew this little old lady over, and she died. It was horrendous. So yes, at the moment it's not allowed to land there. They're only allowed the smaller helicopters in these days. But anyway, you think that Nick's going to be going down there as well? So I don't know. Anybody got any plans for doing RIAT or Cosford?
I think so. Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I'll have to have a look. But yeah, definitely
Nathan, hasn't he?
I bought my React ticket like 3 years ago.
Oh, is it still valid?
Just keeps it
Roll
keeps sort
over.
of rolling over. So I'm going to React one of the days, but I can't remember which now. I bought the ticket so long ago. Cosford, I'm always put off by the traffic.
Yeah, it must be a bit of a... I've only done Cosford when it's normal. Must be a bit of a bottleneck when it's got an air show on getting in there. Yes, okie dokie. So, next up... well, I'm not, because I'm saving up. Got a wedding to pay for and crap. So, anyway, over to Mark. He says, hello, this is one for Phil. Have you ever built the Airfix 144 VC10K2? Is it okay? Right, okay, I can answer this quite honestly. I built it when I was a youth, and I think it went together in about 3 hours and then was on fire in the garden 2 days later. So I can't remember. I know I built it, and I just painted it grey and deckled it and all the rest of it. But yeah, Nathan, how old is this kit?
Mid-60s.
A mid-60s kit. So it is all raised details, no riveting. And yeah, so it's not one of their best kits, but at the end of the day, it's an airliner, so you could just sand off the raised details and all the rest of it, and you know, you could just do some light scribing for where all the control surfaces are and stuff like that, and probably get away with it. As long as I don't know what the shape's like. Does anyone know?
So what's wrong with things from the mid-60s?
Clearly, you're not an advert. You're not a good advert. Seriously, I wouldn't say you're a good advert. Not when I saw Dolly Parton on telly earlier, and she's what, 86? All right, she can't move her mouth much because it's pinned, but you know, she's looking good for her age. Sorry, go on.
I'm about to say the problem with them airliner kits from Airfix is the clear parts, or not so clear parts.
Frosted
I think
windows.
I built a few years ago the BAC 111, and that must be old, very old. And the clear, the clear parts. But I don't know if you know, like where people paint them.
Yeah.
Or you can fill them and they put decals on for the windows. I don't know if that's. I don't know if I like that. I don't know. What's your opinion on it?
No.
Yeah. Again, the only one I used the decals, to be honest, that came with that 2E one. I did that 787.
Yeah.
Because the clever thing was, because I did it in flight, and clearly there's no interior to that thing. It had decals which had a reflection of the sky. So it had like a blue for the bottom, and it was like white at the top, and it actually was quite effective. It looked like it was in flight. And all the windows I just did with PVA glue everywhere else. But yeah, a bit difficult. We were saying Rodin do another version, but it's not brilliant from what we saw. We have seen that kit. So yeah. Do you know what? I'm sure I did a review of it.
You did. You did.
I did, didn't I? I'm sure he let me do a review of it because it's not our kit.
Because you was laughing.
Yes.
Alan on the forum is the one to look at for the Airfix airline, isn't he? He's done some cracking jobs on some of his in the BOAC markings.
I mean, there's nothing to say you can't bring them up to scratch.
No.
And put a bit of work into them, but obviously you've got to consider how old they are. Yeah, they are knocking on in age. And
I mean, the other option is Welsh models, but that's mixed media, back form type stuff. So it's probably a reasonable option because it's not like there's loads of BC around. So so the Welsh model one is back form fuselage and resin wings. So, yeah.
Going back, probably 80s or 90s now, there was rumours for years that Airfix were going to do a 72nd one. But alas, it never came about.
Hey, Mac 2 did this, so don't
so you don't need it. You got the Mac 2. There it is. There we go. They do the Super VC10. There's a review there. You can go off and see that one if you're thinking about doing one. And say this one has a little bit of problem with some of the moulding. That's the only trouble. Like they forgot to put the windows in. They didn't at the beginning, but as you go further back, the windows disappear. So bit of flash.
saying, I don't know the availability of that kit. One, it's Rodin.
Does it?
Yeah, true.
Does it still hold the record for a non-supersonic flights from London to New York? The VC10.
Can you
It did
get
for a long, long time.
Don't know, to be honest. I know it did back in the day because it was the fastest passenger airliner, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can remember seeing something on YouTube about something doing it in the jet stream, or more recently coming across caught in jet stream. So that did very close to Mach 1.
That's cheating, though, isn't it? That's wind assistant.
Yeah, that's wind assisted. It's got a brolly out being towed across.
That's like them who do a ski jump and they've got the wind behind them and they go further than the others, so they get penalised, don't they? You know, they have to do the compensation for wind and stuff. Obviously, I'm big into ski jumping.
Yeah.
Get a lot of that here.
Is it big round, Donny?
It's massive in Doncaster ski jumping, I tell you.
Actually, you look a bit like Eddie.
I'll tell you what, I'd fly like him as well.
Clint says, "G'day guys, just a quickie. He's having trouble using the emojis in the custom section. Is it broke or being canned? To be honest, this was nothing to do with me at all. So I did speak to the devs about this and I sent them a message, but I have yet to have an answer back. But it's not me. I haven't turned them off or canned, but I thought, because I didn't realise, and I went and had a look, and it looks, because it may be that they've got them all now, because originally you had to pay for them, but we get them all by default now because we're on a different tier, and so it may be something to do with that. But I have emailed them and asked them where my custom ones went, and I haven't had a reply back yet, so I'm probably in a queue on Ticket or something. So so when I find out, I'll pop you a message, but not sure. But there's freaking thousands in there now. It's literally like an Apple store for that.
Yeah. I love them.
So yes. Anyway, Chris says, "Hi team, 2 quick colour questions." Right, brace yourself. What RLM? No, it's not. Is there an off-the-shelf white for the Vulcan for an anti-flash white colour scheme? What would you recommend? I've read all kind of threads from colours from using Halford's primer, fridge white. That's what you want.
Appliance white.
That's it. Yes.
Appliance white, yeah.
Most Ford Fiestas and Escorts were painted in that in my day. On various mixes. They do it. Hataka, don't they do an anti-flash white?
Hataka C322.
C3222.
C3
Anti-flash white.
22 anti-flash white. There you go. That answers that question. Is that what that is then?
Probably.
No, that's traffic white. Different one.
Yeah.
Just saw it there.
C322.
Oh, right. So there we go. I didn't know that. As I say, anti-flash white is just a little bit of an off-white, isn't it? Anyway, it's not a massive jump. So,
Like you said,
yes.
appliance white does work well, doesn't it?
Yes. Can't go wrong with fridge white.
Yeah.
Second question is, he plans to build the Edard Zero MRP Ash Grey, Model Air Ash Grey, meant to be the same colour as XF76. Grey-green for the overall colour. Oh, which one's 76?
MRP have now got all the Japanese colours, haven't they?
What, at last? Crikey, when did we speak to them about that? That was when we were in
4 years ago.
Hungary, wasn't it?
5 years ago.
They're out.
Wow, they said they were due out any minute when we spoke to them 5 years ago. So, yes.
They're struggling for names.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were trying to do translation, weren't they?
Translations, weren't it, or something? Yeah. No, never bothered Tamiya.
AK Real Colour do the full set of Japanese colours.
What colour did I use on mine? Isn't that's the same greeny colour, isn't it?
Did you use Tamiya?
I think
I used Tamiya.
I used Tamiya.
One of the early XFs in it, 15, 40, I don't know, one of the...
Yes, there you go, there's mine, and I just used the Tamiya, XF76.
Was it?
Was that 76, is
I
it?
think that's 76.
Is it? I thought that was an interior colour, but anyway, it doesn't matter. But yeah, you've got to think, like, obviously, Guns and Tamiya are Japanese companies, so you'd think they'd know their own...
Yeah, that's what
colours.
That one is. Hold on, let me just double check. I might have it in my show notes, I doubt it. XF58.
Is Jamie still in chat? How's his YouTube channel coming along? We've not seen it yet.
No, I did say a few weeks ago it would be June-ish time.
Oh, June, is it? Oh, right, okay.
I think, something like that.
Watch the video. It'll be in here. Sometimes I have a picture of it. There it is. Yes, that's what I used on mine. XF76.
Yeah, okay.
There it is.
Quite a nice colour.
It is. Covered very, very well. Well, I was happy with it. It looks alright when it's got a wash on because it gives it a bit of a shows up all that riveting.
You've been to Japan, Nate. Is that the same colour?
Yes, is that correct?
100%.
Nathan, because he got told off for taking photos.
Yeah, he got told off in the bit where they said no photos.
Taking pictures.
See, look at that lovely riveting detail.
Okay.
Yeah, I must admit I was happy with mine. So that's in 30 seconds, but yeah, I worked quite well that. I don't have a problem with that one. Very nice it was too. Where are we? Ash Grey 76. Anybody else got any idea in chats? Is that correct colour? Do we know? Anyone in chat? I haven't got the chat room up, so I can't see.
No, I haven't.
You're on thin ice with Japanese colours, though, aren't you? Really, to be fair. So
We're going down the RLM route with these.
Oh, is it? Are they like that? Are they?
it's one of them. It's another one of those. Is it? Is it not? Who knows? It's close enough for government work, isn't it?
Yes. Right, Glenn says, hello to all. Has anyone used the taco shells or tortilla chips as a method of representing Zimmerit on German armour? Is this because of our taco Mexican night? Or is this a wind-up?
That's what you should have had on this bloody music.
So is this...
I tell you what, that music, that's just reminded me, is the BAP van that comes round to past the unit and they keep playing that twice a day. I have to listen to that tune.
Anyway, he says he needs to get some more brass rod and tube and usually gets it off of Amazon. Is there anywhere else to get it from? My nearest model shop doesn't sell it, but seems very expensive in comparison. Albion Alloys do it, tons of it.
Trumpeted brass rod. I've got some because I use it for pinning busts and things on plinths. They did different scales of brass tubing.
Yes.
And it's not that expensive, actually, to be honest. It's pretty cheap stuff. But Albion Alloys, again, like you just said.
If you go on eBay, there's a metal company on there I've used for various things. And they do literally everything from like 0.5 mil diameter rod to those massive iron brass bars that I've got. And they do everything, square, box, I-beam type stuff, all in smaller scales as well.
Can you buy direct from Albion Alloys?
No.
I don't think so.
No, you cannot. So, but if you go on their thing, they'll show you distributor, I think, on their site. Stockists, that's the word I was looking for, stockists, yes. Yeah.
Good. Right, okay, so Keith says, hi team, did the UN ever use the M48A3 pattern tank?
Germans used the pattern, didn't they?
When did that question pop up? I missed that one.
Only as Tigers in the Bridge Too Far, or whatever it was.
Yeah, that was a Leopard 1.
Yeah, it was a Leopard, wasn't it? That was the other week we were on about
That was a Leopard 1. No, it was in the Battle of the Bulge, wasn't it? Where they used patterns.
Bulge, yes.
There's tiger tanks. Oh dear. Let's not go down that road. I don't know.
I'm just doing a Google now for UN M48. I can't see a single picture of one at all.
No.
Don't know. Because again, I don't know. Because what did the Americans do with all of their pattern tanks? Did they flog them off to some third
Germany,
world?
Norway, and some of the other NATO things had them.
So perhaps they may have used them, but
things had them. The Israelis had a load of pattern tanks. They converted them to the Magash.
Yeah.
What do you call it? I think Korea's had them as well. Not to say North Korea, sorry. South
North Korea. Does that do much?
North Korea's had
peacekeeping.
To be honest, though, the UN don't employ main battle tanks very, very often at all.
No.
Shows a bit of aggression, doesn't it?
It's not really something that they. The only time you see that sort of stuff is the peacekeeping in sort of Afghanistan. But even then, did they have main battle tanks in Afghanistan?
You know what they say? Peace by superior firepower. Which gun manufacturer used to, was that Colt slogan, wasn't it? I think, or something else like that.
Don't know.
And how's that working out at the moment?
Well, there isn't much superior firepower going on there.
Yeah. So,
I'll tell you what, on that note, I love it how, let's face it, the M Law's quite popular at the moment, clearly, and Sweden make it. Because it's made by Saab, isn't it?
Is
So
it?
they must be doing great for a neutral country. You know? So, yes.
Yeah.
Got Leclerc tanks. They've got some Indian T something. Some not very good on my Russian tanks.
I'd say no, they don't. I can't see any.
I'd said no either. There's a lot of APCs and stuff, isn't there? But I don't think there's any like
They
Nathan
do
said
tend to
main
use
battle tanks.
medium type stuff, don't they? And say APCs rather than main battle tanks or heavy battle tanks. So
Yeah. So I've got this picture here of some T-72s, Indian ones used in Somalia. I don't know. I mean, you can do your UN stuff. You can do your Kosovo I4 stuff. Afghanistan had United Nations. What was it? What was it called in Afghanistan? You'd have to do your Googling, but
Don't know. You'd have to do a bit of research. Yeah.
he says also that he's just bought the Mini Art 1/32 scale oil and petrol can set. I didn't realise that it came with some PE bits. I don't currently have a set of scissors. I can't justify the cost at the moment. What would you suggest is a good way to take PE parts off of the sprue? I do have various sharp implements at my disposal, ranging from craft knives through to a junior hacksaw. Well, you won't need that. Obviously, it might be a bit harsh through PE. Yes.
Hey, it's not trumpeter's photo, eh?
Yeah. To be honest, yeah, this is trumpeters. It's proper, you know, that could use that for hanging photos. But yeah, I tend to do this. If you get a board that's just got, it's quite hard, but a little bit of give, and it stops it pinging off then. And then obviously you put it down, you put it on, and just come along with a knife. The best one to use, if you get those blades that have got a slight curve on them, what do they call that one? They've all got numbers, don't they, and stuff.
Is that a 10A?
I don't know, but it's the one with a slight curve. It's flat at the top and it's curved underneath because you can roll it. And you literally just go up to it and roll it. But to say I do with these, like this probably will not cut through this because I can't see it. But no, it's not even going to cut through it. But yeah, you can just do it. You can use like a glass sheet and cut against it with that. And it's a nice finish. But don't use your cutting max. What you'll do is you'll bend the edges of the PE. But you want a hard surface. But these things work absolutely fantastic for it because there's just enough give in it so it doesn't ping off when you cut it.
A tile as well.
A tile, yes.
yeah.
Works if you can, you know, they're cheap as chips, aren't they? If you're just
The thing is, they will blunt your blades really quick, whereas like the back of one of those Infinity boards will
but
look after them a bit longer.
But then if it's 20 quid for an Infinity board, if you ain't got one, you might as well buy the scissors.
True.
Do you know what I mean?
But then he's got a template for doing lines and fine things as well.
Yeah.
And if you say a floor sander and just then take the
Take the edge off it.
Yeah.
Definitely. And then he's put up a very nice one for tortilla bowls, taking 8 ounces of flour, lightly brushed with oil, take 8 balls of tin, and yeah, I won't go into all of it, but it's very nice. So if you need a meal up there,
Nice.
I'll blame Nathan for putting that up.
I'll pass it on to my wife.
I'm sure she'll love that. She tells you where to stick it.
I saw a joke where somebody said, "Why do the wives always do the cooking?"
Mm.
And someone replied back and said, "Because the prisoners always need to be fed."
Very good. Okay, Norman says, "Hi guys, hope everybody's well. He's going to be building a winter AFV scene in the near future. What is the essential items that the teams experience for creating lightly snowed icy finishes?"
Ooh, there's quite a few products on the market. I've never used them, but there's quite a few. Precision Snow and Ice do a nice set for that. AK do, I presume MIG do as well. So they do some stuff. Who else does it?
I've got these stuff.
Woodland Scenics.
Yeah, that's what I've got.
Woodland Scenics do stuff. I think Vallejo do as well. They've all now got their own sort of brands. The best thing is to watch a few YouTube vids on it. Just Google it. There's loads and loads and loads. Don't go down the cupboard. Oh God, what turns yellow? What they used to use for snow.
Oh, baking powder.
Baking powder. Don't do that.
It looks
Yellow snow. That's
yellow snow a few years down the line.
Oh yeah, but it does discolour where obviously the newer products now don't. So yes, there's a lot out there.
Yes. Right. Joe says, "Hi team. I hope you're all enjoying the sunshine. Not too bad here today." Matt had it positively Baltic, wasn't it? Sort of. Well, not Baltic.
Tropic.
The other one.
It was tropical. The door was up and everything today.
Yes. Was it balmy 14 degrees, wasn't it, you say?
It was very, very nice. And then literally I get home and it was just went completely dark and looked like it's going to have to sling it down, but it hasn't. So, yeah.
Very nice. Right, he says, I have a question. With the current events going on in the world, he's finding it harder to get hold of Quintus Studios 3D decals. Are there any other companies that make them specifically for the 48 scale F-15E Great Wall Hobbies? Yes,
I don't know
there's
about
lots of
specifics,
companies.
but there's lots of companies
that do it.
Edward, Red Fox, is it?
Yeah.
Who else is it, John?
That's what I can think of.
Edward,
No, there is. There's quite a few. What's that one I had? Admittedly, it's a bit of a problem because
there's
it's
another
going to
one
be
I can't
available.
think of.
Yeah, we are talking what we can get, not
Yeah.
football.
But these are very nice. The ones we were doing from Kellic, which are obviously Ukrainian, so it might be, what's in the country. But
Kitswell do 3D decals.
yeah, Kitswell, that's the one I was thinking of.
Yeah,
They
that's
do
what I was
those.
thinking.
Yeah.
I don't think they do much modern stuff, though. I think there's more World War II into it. So, Red Fox?
Red
I think
Fox,
they're the ones.
yeah.
And Edward probably would have been, but that's the.
I'd have a look on Hannant's, innit? And
I was
just
going to
put
say,
in there
Hannant's had
15.
an absolute massive restock a couple of weeks ago. So probably have a look and grab some in there.
Yep.
So,
Yes.
Yours.
Red Fox Studio are Hungarian, so they're probably available.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm.
But yeah, there is other options out there and all the rest of it. But, as you say, hopefully there'll be some. There's quite a few at Hannant's. I know that for a fact.
John, sorry, to interrupt. You know why you're on a Tunnan?
Mm-hmm.
You still want it, yeah?
Yes, he does.
Yes, he does. That's an answer. That's exactly what I was going to say.
Because that's what he was thinking. So we'll just go with that.
Yeah.
The event one.
Don't let John think. It's done, mate. It's done. So you've got one.
The right one, I hope.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I've got all three for you, so you've got a choice.
I only want the UN one.
I have absolutely no idea what I'm going to do for that.
I need to get a Swedish chef's hat now for this year because I am totally Swedish.
You are, aren't you?
You going to IKEA?
Been meatballs 3 times a week now, aren't you?
Yeah. I could eat their meatballs 3 times a week, no problem.
Okay. I must admit, I've done it a few times, and when you buy a load of stuff and you can only fit so much in your car, you have to go to IKEA 3 times a week.
Them and the chocolate biscuit things they do in the box. They were a bit lush.
Yes, Krista, that's why I'm getting it for the UN SIG.
Yeah, I'm stuck. I'm thinking it's somewhat ironic to do a Ukrainian hind using as Bethesda kit, but I'm like, God, there's just too.
I'm definitely doing a warrior with Andy out the back of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What, back in the day?
Yeah.
When he was a lean, mean
photo
fighting
of him.
machine.
I'm going to carve Andy. Like a milliput.
You don't like doing
Hey, with his dodgy tash.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, oh dear.
Oh, I'm going to 3D print it. That'll be brilliant. We need that photo so we can have you 3D printed.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on.
Okay, Adam says, does anyone have a recommendation for a good metallic titanium colour in acrylics or enamels at a pinch, just not lacquers? I've been making my own in the past. However, I now have a large paint job coming up and I need for a bit more consistent with it. To be honest, I think Tamiya's titanium's not bad. Was that X31 or whatever it was?
No, I'm thinking, the thing is,
X32.
it's enamel, isn't it? AK's Extreme Metals is
Yeah.
enamel based, and Vallejo's
Mm.
metal colours got a titanium.
Extreme Metals, not? Yeah, what's acrylic there, doesn't it?
Yeah, you did say if you could enamels, but say there. Hold on. We've got
Yeah,
one.
Vallejo.
Yeah, Tamiya's X32 isn't bad for titanium. as long as you want it as a flat titanium, like my watch is titanium, and it is actually, because that's what I colour match it to. It's pretty accurate as titanium. So, but as you say, yeah, you've got it. I've got one in here somewhere.
For your metal colours.
Yeah, if you want it in enamel, then yeah, that one is AK glasses 669. I think.
Got big glasses on.
Here we go with TikTok.
So yes, that's the one you want. And say that's nice. And say you can. It looks very brown on the bottom, so make sure you thoroughly mix this up. Otherwise, it just comes out silver. So get your little buzzer in there and zzz the hell out of it, because it doesn't go. As you can see, it stays even if you shake it. So you need to properly get in there.
Andy, do Vallejo do a titanium in their metal colour range? Do we stock it?
I'll soon look.
Yeah, they do. I've got one.
I think they do.
Titanium. What's that?
I can't get that blooming tune out of my head now. I started with it.
Aluminium.
Chris is
Manifold.
I might have it as a ringtone on my phone.
We could all come on with sombreros on tonight, wouldn't it?
Yeah. And
Yeah,
a poncho.
yeah.
The three amigos.
Yeah. Be a mariachi band.
No, I don't do titanium.
They don't do it.
No.
Surely silver with a touch of gold will make titanium, wouldn't it?
Well, it's like a brownie colour, isn't it? It's
Magnesium.
like,
Well, they've never done
Say,
titanium.
Tamiya X32, can't go wrong with it. If you want to stick with acrylics, go for that, which I know it's not an acrylic, true acrylic, but it's close enough. He says, also, has anyone used ammo acrylic filters? Almost said fillers then. Are they worth a while, or should I stick with making my own filters?
I'd make your own.
Yeah.
Yeah, make your own. It's a bit
It's
of a column with that one.
It's tinted thinners.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, very thin white. Yeah, colour.
I mean, obviously they make specific colours.
Hmm.
You can make your own, really. It's
The
not.
thing that scares me with acrylics, though, is once they're on, aren't they?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
they
the thing.
stick.
Now, you can get thinners on them and take them
Just
off.
wipe
but
it off and go again, yeah.
I wonder if it stains. It's got to.
So, what is he on about? An acrylic filter?
Yeah.
Yeah, they do
Yeah.
acrylic filters, don't they?
Oh, they did
Yeah.
the shaders. Is he on about them, or an actual filter? Or is he on about the shaders?
No, I think he's actually on about a filter. It's
You
got on
think?
there.
Yeah, they actually do acrylic filters.
Oh, right, because I know the shaders, you can wash them off. I'll be honest with you, because we don't sell MIG stuff, but them shaders look actually very good. And I'd like to give them a go, because you can actually wash them off, and they look good for post-shading and stuff. But I think they're more of an ink-based.
Right.
It seems you can reverse them. It's not kind of, I don't know if anybody's used them in chat and stuff, but they do actually look all right, to be honest. Yeah.
Fair play. Okay, Ian says, good evening, anyone. I hope you're all doing well. Apart from your spares boxes, where does everyone get their greeblies or greebles from? I'm fast becoming a greebly hunter. So we've got a little picture up here. These are a couple of items. That's a raw plug. Isn't that a plasterboard plug?
Yeah, it says, yeah.
What's the other thing?
That's a connector box, isn't it? Put your old wires in, click it down.
Yeah, it looks like it.
Anyway, he's recently found a bunch from Wilco. That's actually quite a good idea, really.
Yeah. I
I'd
think,
say-
yeah.
Screw. That's
Well,
probably
that.
what they did the old Thunderbirds one with.
I was just thinking the CO
The
house,
mould,
and I thought
wasn't it?
exactly the mould.
So yes.
Yeah, which is
Anybody
that.
got any ideas for getting your sort of greebly bits for your kit bashing?
I think if you've got any old electronics that need throwing out, like break TVs apart, take components out of electronics.
Watches are good, aren't they? Old watches for taking the
Yeah,
mechanisms out.
that's it. All the mechanisms out of them.
You've dropped that, Andy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
careful. That lands on your X-wing.
It has.
I've got some of these CN5
Oh.
but I've got some that you can actually see the LEDs through. Yeah, all the LEDs sticking out. They'd be brilliant for like jet engines and sort of like for a spaceship or something. thought these were them, but they're not. They must be in my box down here.
I think it's going to be a case of every time you're getting ready to throw something out, see if there's bits in there.
Yeah.
Especially if something like a light bulb breaks. Even those LED light bulbs do look really cool inside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's like frosting, but once they die, you take the frosting off. There's loads of electronics in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can see all the LEDs and things inside them, can't you?
There's the diffusers on them, aren't they? So
Yeah.
it's just looks like you.
Wait, now it's going to get to winter and the darker nights, and everyone's other half's going to be putting lights on, and nothing's working.
Off we're missing it.
Good like the candles.
Yeah, that's it.
The point
I
is
do-
not now, because you'll collect bits through the next couple of months, won't you?
I'm thinking the price of electric and stuff will all be on candles.
Yeah, that's it.
So we'll be recycling the bulbs.
I said before, we need to get those coal diggers back out, get the miners out, and get those all fired back up. We need the coal back.
Yeah,
Say-
fossil fuel.
Oh, Greta Thunberg's gone quiet.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, no, I think, like for me, I've got a couple of boxes and it looks like I've got a kit, but it's not. It's full of that type of stuff, which I do. I tend to, when you finish your model, especially on some like trumpeters or classics, you always get tons of stuff you probably never need ever again. But I just cut them off and chuck them in the box. So
I've got a box
bits
that I've
of
started.
stuff. I've got F-16s. I did lots of F-16s as commission work, and I've literally got one of me and Matt were talking about this earlier, the Suffer box I've still got, and it's just full of F-16 stuff. So I've got intakes and engines and bits for the two-seater where it's only had the single-seater and vice versa and everything. So it's like, yeah, that's always quite handy to keep stuff like that. As I say, you need something like this to go and get the box to go through it all, because normally I can't be bothered. But
I've got a lot of arms, legs, and heads. Do they count?
yes, you get six-legged person and arms.
That'd be
The human centipede.
That's what I was about to say. We're making the human centipede.
So yeah, that's your diorama.
That would be nice, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
And he's off again.
Hey, oh,
It's-
Oh, has he gone again? Crikey,
We've
couldn't
got
make it to the
7
end.
minutes.
Bless. Anyway, that was the last question.
Was it? Is that
Yes.
it then? We're done.
We are. Oh, we're not bad. Look, we've got 8 minutes. Right, any more questions? Anybody got anything you want to discuss, want to talk about? Anyone got a problem?
Don't.
No,
Look at
don't. We
that.
don't. We don't need to know.
Don't tempt fate,
There's
someone's
a little
going to
blue pill for that, eh? What?
Oh, cute.
Oh, am I? No.
Merch. There you go.
Did you see that bloke the other week? And he built a Rubik's Cube and it's fully motorised. So it does it itself. How cool is the engineering on that? So he's basically
What's
got a Rubik's Cube, right? And you mix it all up and then he's got, obviously, it's all wireless. You go, and it just turns itself around and puts itself all back to the start position. How clever is that? That's brilliant.
What's the point?
Oh, there isn't one, but that's why it's cool.
That's brilliant. Pointless.
That's why I like stuff like that.
Right, here we go. 2 questions. One, the PM models question. Are you getting the Airfix Tempest?
Yep, we are next week.
Yes.
And when are we getting merchandise and new Flory products?
So the wash is a little bit on hold at the moment, purely because I haven't had a chance to do it yet, because we're just a bit busy with everything that's going on and that. But I will get that sorted and done, because it's a little bit more involved of just making it. As for the merchandise, again, that's me. I might try and do it this weekend, because to be honest, the other half's working all weekend, so I'll be able to get a couple of hours on the site and get it all done. It's there. It's been sat in the unit since beginning of December. But I just haven't had a chance to get it up onto the site and everything, so I will get that sorted as well. So that's my job for the weekend.
Here's a good question. So Chris has got, he's missing his stand for his Canberra, the boat Canberra, and he's going to have to do a water dyer. Should he hack the keel off or just carve into the base? So do you cut the boat up or do you carve like a boat-shaped recess into the base?
I'd do the boat cess recess, I think.
I would
from
do
what
a
I've seen
recessed
on the
boat, so you've got a more of a natural, rather than it just being flat on a surface, isn't it?
Yeah,
Carve the base.
Carve the base.
yeah.
If you cut the boat wrong, it's going to...
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. You can redo a base and recarve it if you don't like it. Like, say, once you've done the cut on the actual ship, you're a bit snookered, aren't you?
Yeah.
Any sign of the Tamiya lacquer restock?
It's coming in slowly but surely, but
We've had some in, haven't we? But
we've had some, but not all. We're still waiting for quite a few to come in. So, like I said, there is containers coming in. Hopefully, at some point this year.
Yes.
We will have the full stock back in. But yeah, it's been a bit of a pain in the backside, Tamiya lacquers, for some reason.
Yes.
I'd like to know what the problem's been, because obviously we've had the XFs in, so that's not been as bad, but the lacquers, I don't know.
What about the Hobby 2000 Harriers?
that's a good question, actually.
That's an exclusive, isn't it?
Yeah. I've got no info on that at the minute, if I'm honest.
No.
It's,
I bet next time Matt speaks to the supplier, don't forget to ask.
Paints.
Yeah.
Pardon?
Any news on buffable paints? What's that, Richard? Which buffable paints? Have we not got any buffables in stock?
Thought we were fully in on them, aren't we?
we've got full. I think we've got a full rack of them, haven't we? We're saying we're out on the site somewhere. Well, I think thing is that actually the suppliers, Dark Iron.
Dark Iron, yeah, we didn't get that.
We've got the rest of them, but Dark Iron we haven't
right.
got. That's thingy out of stock at the suppliers. We do order it every time,
We do.
along with other things, but yes,
Yeah, MC 214 we're out of, yeah.
yeah.
I would say I'll give you one, but somebody came down here not a long time ago and nicked all of mine. Do you remember I had that box of 6 turn up that I ordered?
No.
And somebody
No,
made
they're
off with
beyond
them
that.
saying we need them, we're out of stock. Otherwise I could have said I've got one and you can have, but I haven't.
Don't believe a word he says, people.
No, do you know what? I ordered from Lucky Model 6 buffables about 7 years ago, and then out of the blue, was it a couple of years ago now, they just turned up. And it was like I'd forgotten literally all about it, and literally turned up. And then, yes,
It's a bit like
the vulture turned up. It was like, you got 6 of them, we need them for stock, and they went.
Yeah, I miss coming down and raiding your cupboards.
Yeah, that's it.
Has anyone built the Kitty Hawk 148 Huey?
Why, has somebody got one?
Well, Christopher's asking,
Any issues?
are there any issues with it? He's thinking
does
of
he know
building a
how
Gulf
much-
War era.
Does he know how much that kit's worth? Can't build it. Priceless. It's faulty, isn't it? It's not accurate.
To be honest, it's not accurate, but as far as it going together, I don't think there's actually that many problems. It's typical Kitty Hawk, as in, just watch it, because it's probably labelled wrong, the instruction-wise.
Yeah, probably. Is that the twin Huey?
Yeah, the end's the twin.
The end into
Super
it, that's the
Huey, as they
later one.
call it as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
How much is it worth? $3,000.
I tell you what, there is a Kitty Hawk Jaguar on eBay for 200 and something pounds. 48 one.
Well, it's probably about $300-400
Yeah.
now, isn't it? This helicopter kit.
So
It's that not wings effect, isn't it? Where they're just ballooned in value.
Lynn says, should he try Tamiya lacquers?
Yes, they're lovely.
They're very nice, I must admit. I've got them here, and I might. I'm not saying I'm
Say-
going to.
She. It's a he.
Sorry, he has got the Tamiya ones, but also I've got the AK ones. So I don't know what to do the Hornet in. I'm a bit stuck.
You're doing it in Hataka.
Attacker. No. I've got Attacker
In
as well
fact,
for
do
it.
you know what you're going to paint it in? Because I'm going to send them down tomorrow. Aqueous.
Am I?
Don't laugh at me. You are. You never paint Aqueous.
I
and we
want it
sell
to dry before the summer.
Rapid thinners.
I've got it actually. I've got Aqueous over there.
Dominic says Humbrol.
Humbrol. Yeah.
Do it in enamels.
We should just perhaps go with the square Revell acrylic range, the little cubes.
No.
Which one smells? Yeah, but that's a way to decide. Painting which ones smell the
Anyway,
best.
Test
anyway,
it.
it's 9 o'clock before we go
Yeah.
down that hill.
Dulux. Yes.
2 books, yeah.
Fine. Yes. After all these months of fighting with it and all the rest of it, it's finally done. So,
It looks nice put together like that.
yes. It's all right. Nothing
it
wrong
does
with this
look
kit. It's fantastic. Said no one ever.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you know in the box you've got? Is it actually a real built one on that,
Yeah.
or they're not even bothered?
Yeah, no, they are. Apparently, it's the prototype one.
How good is it built?
It looks all right. And do you know what we were saying about the person who built the mock-up for the Slave One?
Can't call it that.
It's not a Slave One, whatever they call it though. The Starship. But funny enough, the guy who did the prototype for the Revel one of that got in contact with me.
Really?
I don't know if he's watching. Thank you very much. It was nice chatting to you. But yeah, he did this one.
Yeah.
I can't go into details because he does. I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about it. But there is reasons whilst that kit's crap.
There's only 2 people that have ever built it now.
Yeah, me and him. And he built the prototype. So.
Do you know what? Just while you're on about Star Wars, are you looking forward to Obi-Wan?
Obi-Wan, yeah. Was it 25th of May? In it, I think something like that. So I'll keep me Disney Plus subscription going.
Top it up again.
Top it up again. Yeah.
So is this based after before New Hope?
I haven't even seen the trailer for it. I've seen
Or way
pictures of the
before.
trailer because it's all over the internet, but I haven't actually watched the trailer for it yet.
Or is it after the Clone Wars? And he goes into exile on Tatooine to look after Luke, doesn't he, or something? I think
Yeah,
I've seen a bit of the
that's where it's
trailer.
set, 'cause I've seen the picture of like Luke playing, and he's watching him from afar.
That's a bit dodgy.
It is
really?
dodgy these days. Has he got
You know, you
sweets in a
can't do
van?
that
But-
anymore. Can you?
Sounds a bit sketchy, doesn't it?
Let's
So,
face it, hopefully can't be any worse than Boba Fett, can it?
nothing
Right.
with Boba Fett. He's all right. Got there in the end. It's not as good
Ah,
as the
Boba
Mandalorian.
Fett, right, yeah.
I thought Boba Fett was all right. It's watchable.
Right. And
It's good for insomnia.
Disney-fied.
it just got
Anyway,
better.
hold on. There's one for John though. You watching Series 2 of Picard?
Nah.
I haven't watched Series 1 yet.
Oh right, okay.
Oh, Series 2 out now, is it?
Series 2 came out this week. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I've
today.
been watching 1883, is it?
I've just finished watching Titans, all 3 seasons of Titans.
Only people in America will know what 1883 is. It's
About 1883, isn't it?
Is it?
yeah, it is actually
Is it?
funny.
Really?
Just so happens, yeah.
Wow. That's mind blowing. Peaky Blinders is where it's at the moment. Come on.
Yes, definitely. Right, okay then, kids. We will call it right there. I'll be with you tomorrow for the roundup show as we make our way through. And obviously, you're going to get the next big old chart, which will probably be about a 45-minute, 50-minute video of this little lump. So it'll be all the painting stage of it. And then obviously going into the decaling, which will get to you around about here. And then on Monday, obviously, the next part of the F-18 Hornet will be up with you. So lots to come.
Yeah.
Good job. Right, are we all done then, gentlemen?
Yes.
Good,
Yeah.
good, good. Right, good night, everybody. Thank you very much for joining us. A pleasure, as absolutely always. Please stay safe, and we'll see you all again very, very soon. So until later, everybody, say goodbye, gentlemen. We're out of here.
Bye.
Bye.